Welcome back. This is Sports Chat on KTN Morning Express program that we talk about headlines, sports news making the headlines across the world. And also we have our discussion, and I have Milton Nyakundi in the studio. He's a senior journalist, and one of our last items for the day is that the Sports Disputes Tribunal is expected to provide further directions tomorrow on the fate of the cancelled Football Kenya Federation elections. On March 17, the tribunal nullified the FKF elections, citing an illegal eligibility clause inserted in the Electoral Code that ensured that FKF president, his deputy, and officials in 39 out of 47 counties returned unopposed. It was the second time the tribunal had nullified the FKF elections, and it proceeded to request the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, to constitute a normalization committee to, among other things, organize free and fair elections. FIFA, however, turned down the tribunal's request, and it will be interesting tomorrow to know what John Ohaga and his committee will say after that, because he had said that all the parties return to court on April 21st, which is tomorrow. But of course, with the coronavirus pandemic, it will not be possible to have people going to the courts. And Milton Nyakundi was a party to that to that petition in the Sports Dispute Tribunal, and is here. Milton Nyakundi, could you please tell us if there has been any information from the SDT as to what will happen tomorrow?
Well, I think, Robin, we are expecting that we would get communication in the course of today in terms of how tomorrow's session will be conducted. But I think over and above everything else, what is important is the substance of what is likely to come from the panel that is chaired by John Ohaga, considering the response that we've got from FIFA since that decision was made. And I think it will be an interesting situation for us. Even myself and all the other parties, what we are looking at is that the authority of Kenyan law will be respected. FIFA, of course, and in the decision that was communicated by Veron Mosengo Omba, some of us, most of us who are parties to that decision have written to FIFA in response to that. And clearly, FIFA seems to have been misguided on the position and the establishment of the SDT, as it were. So we are waiting to see how John Ohaga is going to give further directions, because already Nick Mwendwa and his colleagues who served between 2016 up to 10th of February 2020 are already in contempt as far as we are concerned, because they have continued to conduct themselves as if they are in office, which is against the decision of the SDT and the Kenyan law. So we are waiting to see how that will be coming through. I think in the course of today, personally, I would be making my submissions to the tribunal in terms of what to expect tomorrow, and then we wait to hear how the panel will conduct the sittings tomorrow.
Yeah, because the SDT on March 17 actually cancelled the FKF elections that had been slated for March 27, because FIFA had given a deadline of March 30. Now, that did not happen, and the tribunal said that the term of office of the FKF National Executive Committee had come to an end, which means that from February 10th, they were not supposed to be in office. And that is a very interesting scenario, Milton. I don't know, FIFA has now said that a meeting will be conducted between the Kenya government, the SDT, and stakeholders next month. That is COVID permitting. Do you see that happening?
I hope it happens, and that is one of the issues that we want to submit ourselves to in what I am writing to the SDT. But I think over and above everything, my position, and I stand to be corrected, but my view is that FIFA, in convening any meeting, has no reason, and I want to categorically state that, in my opinion, the SDT has no reason to sit down with FIFA, because they are a judicial body that has given a decision, and if there is any discussion to happen, then it has to happen within the setup of, the rules and regulations that govern how the SDT conducts its business. FIFA can sit with former officials of FKF and the stakeholders and ourselves as parties to the case, but as far as sitting down with the representatives of the SDT is concerned, I do not see the nexus for that to happen. They are a judicial body. They have rendered their decision. Anything is supposed to happen, we are supposed to go back to the SDT for further directions. We should not be sitting with the SDT and FIFA. It's like telling Chief Justice Maraga to sit down with parties that are before them. I don't see how
John Ohaga said that they made a decision, and that if anyone is dissatisfied, they have a chance to appeal at CAS, that is the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Do you think that is the channel or the right way to go?
Absolutely, that is the right way to do. And for me, I was a bit shocked, and I did a letter to FIFA explaining and asking specific questions. FIFA know that the jurisdiction, the due process is that if FKF were aggrieved, FKF subjected themselves to the SDT, and that is the right legal procedure within the Kenyan law. So for them to advise FKF to defy a decision of the SDT was a bit shocking. And what I expected is that they would have, if indeed they were unhappy with the decision, they should have advised for FKF to go to CAS, which they did not. And that window period of 21 days has already elapsed, and therefore FKF has no option. FIFA would not pretend that they are above, FIFA statutes are above Kenyan law, because Article 2 of the Kenyan Constitution 2010 is very explicit on how FIFA statutes are domesticated into Kenyan law. And where there is ambiguity or where there is contravention to the Kenyan law, then obviously the Kenyan Constitution takes precedence. And I maintain my advice, and you've seen my position on other platforms, that Nick Mwendwa and co, they have no option. In fact, we would be citing them for contempt, and we as journalists, I think, might end up indicted in as far as that is concerned, for referring to Nick Mwendwa as the president of FKF post March 17th, because that is exactly what it is. Nick Mwendwa and co, they are out of office. They have no business. FIFA can only sit down with all of us as stakeholders, and we are, by the way, I'm staking and demanding for a place on that table by saying that's that good. We just are stakeholders.
We hope that your wish will be granted so that you appear in person there. But of course, we want to thank you for what you've done for Kenyan football as a journalist, and also the petition you got yourself enjoined at the SDT. And that has been Milton Nyakundi discussing about tomorrow's expected further direction from the Sports Dispute Tribunal. And at this point, I want to bring back my colleagues, Michael Gitonga and Trix Ingado.
Thank you very much, Robin Toskin, for that update on sports, and just keeping tabs on what's happening in the sports world, despite the fact with COVID-19 it seems like many things have come to a halt. And talking about a halt, it's now 8 minutes to 9 o'clock, time for us to wind up the show. Thank you so very much for watching. My name is Michael Gitonga.
And I'm Trix Ingado. Thank you for those who participated in the question of the day. Stay tuned tomorrow for the same. This has been Morning Express. Bye-bye.